In Nigeria, the 12th Bankers Committee retreat with the theme Building Resilience for Economic Growth, Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Gordon Emefiele gave a speech where he called on the brainstorming session to critically review Nigeria's economy in an effort to strengthen and reposition Nigeria for unforeseen challenges. He also reserved special praise for Nigeria's banking sector.
It is in this regard that the theme of this year's retreat, Building Resilience for Economic Growth, is both timely and appropriate. As the 12th in the series of annual brainstorming sessions, this retreat is another occasion to critically review strategic economic and financial developments in Nigeria. It is indeed an opportunity to find ways to strengthen and reposition our country for unforeseen challenges. Before I continue my speech, I'd like to especially thank the Bankers Committee and also say thank you, the CEOs of our banks, for your support and for your cooperation since the advent of COVID in February 2020. I thank you most sincerely. I cannot say that Central Bank did this alone. Everything that we have done since February 2020, realizing your importance as a catalyst to growth in the economy, has been with your support.
Arise business analyst Chika Mbono joins us to discuss further. Chika, you're very welcome. Good morning to you.
Hi,
I almost called you Bode Oshacham. Sorry. Chika, you're very welcome. Thanks for joining us. So, why the particular praise on the banking sector? Well, what's your take on that?
You know, like at the onset of COVID, I think February 2020, you know, literally the government was broke, and nobody knew what to do. Our health system was in shambles. Remember, sometimes it's not good to have a short memory.
Exactly.
Remember the playback for some of the states, how they set up the health facilities in most of the states.
Yes. And
there was maybe only 2 or 3 isolation centers around the whole country.
Yes.
And Nigeria was complaining of being, the fiscal side said they didn't have money.
Yes.
So it was then the CBN, took over, set up the car COVID, the private coalition that comprised the banks and the private sector.
Yes.
And the banks, participated actively in raising the funds required to build around the whole country, the isolation centers, provide all what required for us to frontally, the country frontally to confront and the COVID challenge.
Yes.
And then remember also the palliatives, that were given to all the states.
Yes.
That was all championed by the COVID, anchored by CBN, and principally, again, by the Bankers Committee. Also, remember also that the banks, as part of the total package, the banks were told to give forbearance to all the lenders who were impacted by the COVID challenge because the cash flows have been, affected. And then their loan payments were deferred, and those affected the profits of banks.
Yes.
So it's all the sacrifices the banks made during this COVID to make sure that we're in the heart of the country as a whole, that he was commending the banking industry. That they made sacrifices, a lot of times things that hurt their profitability, and just to make sure that the country, thrived through the challenge of COVID. And that was very commendable.
Chika, I know we have a medical sector, people's health is important. Is the banking sector, in your view, the most important sector in an economy? How would you engage?
You heard him say, longer than his speech, you heard that the banking sector, is very important for economic development of every economy.
Yeah.
You can't develop the economy without money, and the banking sector provides the money required to develop the economy. So to that extent, every part of the economy is very important.
Yeah.
But the banking sector is also critical for the economic development of the economy, and that's that. So you want to ascribe the numero uno to the banks. They play their role, and principally, especially in the COVID.
Yes.
And he saw how things were really bad, and suddenly isolation centers and the medical drugs were springing up left and right. The planes were landing, all funded by the COVID. And the banks were the major part of this.
Fantastic. I mean, did you want to touch on anything else? He talked about SMEs, importance of finance to businesses.
And that's an aspect. You know, I always try to balance this because even as we had this 3.3 trillion of the Economic Sustainability Fund, and there were, I mentioned some boxes of the economy where those monies have gone, the major challenge again still remains the financing of the SMEs.
Right.
And the limiting factor has always been the fact that the conventional banking system, a lot of these SMEs, do not have the structure to borrow from them. And so I keep saying that our banks must step away from profit and look at ways to support the SMEs in our country. SMEs, 90% of the employment, 80% of our GDP all come from there.
Right.
And every economy that grows must support SMEs.
Fantastic. Chika, I wanted to get your thoughts on the developments in the aviation sector very quickly.
Like a ping pong.
Right after you talked about it.
It's like ping pong. Aviation policy is always very interesting. This issue of slot is not, even it happens between American Airlines and Heathrow and Gatwick. It is now, even Virgin Nigeria at the time, Virgin Nigeria, when they were flying to London, they just tucked them away somewhere at Gatwick because they're competing against B and then Virgin. So who were operating from Heathrow. So they tucked them away somewhere in Gatwick. So creating convenience for the customers. So you just think, oh, why would I go through this stress? Let me just continue to fly that. That's what usually happens. I guess they found AP should actually feel good because it means that a veritable competition.
Yes.
To Emirates Airlines. That's why they wanted to stamp on them and match them, there. But I commend our government in this respect. Really commend them
for coming, for stepping up.
I commend Mr. Srika and then every other person that's involved in the GNCA to standing strong and supporting APs and our country. Because I mean, a lot of countries have taken us for granted in this respect, and even the attitude of UAE initially was like, they want to deal with us. But I guess reason prevailed. 21 frequencies versus none is not fair, and I'm happy now that I've given APs 7 slots to them. And the challenge on AP is nice to be able to find the passengers to fill those slots, especially is at Dubai Airport, not at Sharjah, that is far away from the main Dubai.
Gotcha. And also, I guess we've been removed from the red list as well. Here in the UK. So
good one. A lot of my friends who were planning to come back to Nigeria before were inhibited from coming because of the reverse 2,000-something pounds they're going to pay for quarantine. I'm sure a lot of them will try and confirm their flights again to come into. And then the advantages and the multiplier effects would have lost in our economy for their coming in. I'm hoping that we'll still gain that.
Arise business analyst Chika Mbodu, also aviation analyst and accountant and financial analyst. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
I appreciate your time.
Thanks a lot.
You're watching the Global Business Report here on Arise News.